Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. Moving into the first reaction is from a Facebook post. Raynisha was supposed to be on the panel with us. She actually sent this over, so we're still gonna cover it. It actually has something to do with white fathers. So we're gonna tap into this real quick. I'm gonna just read it. All right, pull it up on my big screen. So it says, all in 30 minutes, I've seen white fathers like overly involved with their daughters and children, carrying babies, wiping hands, playing with them. When I went to the beach for my B-day, they were there in numbers with the fam. I know it doesn't speak for every counterpart, but why is it that they are more involved, more married, and family-oriented than most Black people? I honestly struggle with this. And then the first comment posted here, I'll just read. It says, goes back to slavery. The Black man were never able to be involved. They always had to work. That's what I get from it. The curse just never ended. So that's that was the post. And I kind of will, let's see. We can go to we gonna go to first. Who want to start on this? I'll let y'all decide.
I'll go.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get y'all pulled back in. Yep. Go ahead.
So, so for it's really hard for. Hold on one second, guys. I'm sorry. Can somebody else go?
For sure. No worries.
I'm sorry, I had to go on mute. What was your our response to that post?
Yeah, just your initial reaction to what the post stated. Somebody telling their experience on what they felt like they saw when they were in public, and then they likened it, to, I guess, white fathers being more active and more family oriented, and I guess seemingly more married than Black fathers.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just where she lives. If she's in proximity to more white families, of course, that's predominantly what she's going to see. But that's not like the overall consensus. There are a lot of Black fathers involved with their children's lives. Here in Chicago, they just hosted a whole Black father walk where all these dads came together in a community, walked their kids, walked their teenage daughters and boys. And it was just like a really healthy thing. But the response to that, I think it is true. There's a lot of deeply rooted things that we have been traumatized with that play out in our community today. And that person that responded to that, I think is kind of spot on. Like during those slavery times, the men was supposedly, not supposedly, but he was removed from the home. He was humiliated in front of his family. He was only utilized to be in the fields and, just to, be a buck to break. And I know people like to say that was in the past, but it's so deeply rooted. It can be kind of like a psychological reason why there is like a disparity within the broken families with our community, which also goes into systemic racism and all that. We can go down a rabbit hole. But I think just to put it plainly, her proximity may be misconstruing her view. And I also agree that the trauma of slavery could play a part in it as well.
Okay. Thank you for that take. Anybody else have any?
Yeah,
anything?
I'm sorry, I was interrupted a little bit. I agree with Jazz. Like, I think society wants to break down the Black family and wants to put it in our minds and in our brains that Black men don't step up. But there are, even with me personally growing up, my father was in my life 100%. Like, throughout, still in my life. My parents are still married. But even now, I see, as a teacher, I see relationships where they're broke, like the mom and the dad are not together, but the dad still is making sure, hey, I'm going to show up. Make sure you text me. Make sure you email me. Put me on the thread. Put me on this. So I think we have to keep disrupting that thinking that Black men aren't in their children's lives. Maybe they may not be at the beach, but they could be somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point of view. But also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Jess, April, did y'all have anything in regards to this one?
I could add a little bit. I do agree. There's deadbeats of all races. It's not just Black men. It's white men who are deadbeats too. But I will say that's not even related to slavery. I'll even say it's the way that we programmed and how we're brought up. I have seen in, for an example, white families where they are groomed from childhood. Like when they get high school and up, like they're being groomed to get married, to find husbands, to settle down, to create families, to create a unit. Whereas that's not necessarily what is taught or we're groomed to do in Black communities. One, our men are disproportionately either dead, prison, a whole other things, and then that also leaves us not many options. So a lot of women, we don't really have too many options to pick from, and then you could just go through a whole different rabbit hole of different reasons as to why this happens, but we just aren't groomed to do that. But I do think at some point we do need to put our bootstraps on and say, hey, you know what, we need to bring back the nuclear family, and we do need to figure out how can we create more family units. Now, I don't know what the answer to that is, but I do think that if we continue the way that we're continuing, then there will be less. If we're talking about Black families, I do think that there will be less Black families unless we figure out a solution to that.
April, did you have anything? You on mute. You on mute.
I think too is a lot of. I grew up on the south side of my city, okay, predominantly Black. I've seen the culture. I lived in it, okay, so I see it. I think a lot of it has to do. Those communities are based off of survival, and it's not taught how a lot of there's not a lot of two-parent homes there. So a lot of those kids growing up, and even myself, I grew up in a single parent home. It was just me and my mom. I was taught on survival. So it's different. You don't see the father being present to wipe the child's butt, to wipe their face off, to feed them, to do this, do that. You know, that. So it's across, honestly, it's across all communities, but of course the Black community probably gets hit hardest because that's what the stigmatism is placed on the Black community. So regardless, it just I'm not gonna say regardless of race, because there's more disparities on the Black community, of course, but it's there, it's everywhere. So she probably saw, like, it just depends on the dynamics and what community she was in, that where she saw that, oh, that this white husband is there and he's being active in his child's life. There's Black men out there who do the same thing. So you can't just base it off of one experience or one time you've seen that action happen. So you mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I kind of want to stay on this and drive it forward a little bit, because I agree with you all. I don't have any disagreement, but I wouldn't be doing my job tonight if I didn't push forward a little bit on it. So with all of us being in agreement and understanding what we've been, I guess, put up against, so to speak, why do y'all feel like there's seemingly such a lack of grace between Black men and Black women that are causing so many marriages to fail and relationships to fail, etc.? Anyone could start.
You trying to ruffle some feathers here? Because
I'm just asking. I gotta ask.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my team brief, but I would say I don't want to put it solely on Black men, because I do believe that genuinely Black women desire Black men, right? But Black men, I don't feel like always desire Black women, and I think that's where we have a disconnect, right? If we get told that we want to be provided for, that we're gold diggers. If Susanna or little Susie, or whoever her name is, if she wants to provide her, she wants to be provided for, then a lot of times Black men have no problem with that. We get told that we have attitudes. We get told that we have X, Y, and Z. And I always lead with grace, because oftentimes that we have these attitudes, but sometimes Black women have anxiety. Sometimes it does exhibit itself as isolation. It can exhibit itself as a quote unquote attitude. It could exist. And it's not just that. Sometimes Black women don't have attitudes at all. It's this stigma that y'all have about us, or how you perceive us to be. But it doesn't necessarily, just because I'm not like this all the time, doesn't necessarily mean that I have an attitude. So there's a lot of different, I think, reasons that go into that. But I think just Black men just don't really desire us. And I feel like Black men, I'm not saying all Black men, but don't desire us. But Black men, or men in general, hold the key to marriage, right? So if they aren't proposing to us, then who we gonna get married to? So I always say, go where you celebrate it and you're not tolerated. So I think if Black women were open to more options, more different races, I feel like more Black women would be married.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I hear what you're saying, Jess. Is there's truth to that? I think Black men do desire us. I just don't think that they desire to be the best versions of themselves enough to kind of meet Black men, women, the majority of Black men, women, where they are right now, or just a mature woman, just in general. I think there's a lot of like um, inner work that could be lacking amongst our men, which is why, like what you said, like when we know we can sustain for ourselves, we know we can be self-sufficient, and we kind of want a man to either meet us where we are or provide for us or whatever, make our loads lighter. That's a horrible thing for us to want, you know what I mean? And that's only because that means they would have to do the work to rise to that occasion. They don't want to do that. A lot of times they want us to just come down to their level, and a lot of men feel we should, just based off our gender alone. It's like, you're women, you need a man, and a man shouldn't have to have this, that, and the third. And it's just always this pushback and all these complaints about women this and women that, instead of like evolving and becoming better people so we can meet in the middle. And I'm not saying that women don't have any work to do as well. We absolutely do. But I just think overall, what from what I can see, it just seems like the women are like, we want y'all, you know what I mean? But here's what we kind of require. This is what we need from y'all. We want to get on your program, but can you at least come with this? And when they don't have that, then it's our problem now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Just kind of
Alyssa, April.
piggybacking off
Yep.
of let's see, we have, I know I got April, and I think we got a Jazz and a Jess. So one with the E and one with the A. Okay, I think Jess, blue with the blue. Okay, we all learning each other, y'all. It's our first time, but I got you now. So I want to piggyback on what Jess was saying too, when she was just describing like the characteristics of a Black woman, aggressive attitude, and that may not be your exact words, but then with another woman, I think maybe it was a white woman, it's a little bit more, feminine. When have we ever heard a white woman be described as strong? Like Black women are always, oh, that's a strong Black woman, and I feel like it's just been the breakdown of what our slave owners did when they brought us over here to just break us mentally, and it's just been passed on generationally, because that's how Black women are, we're perceived, oh, that's a strong Black woman. But with a white woman, it's, oh, we're gonna be so, this and that. And so I think that part with Black women, Black men, it's like, have our back. Because one thing the majority of Black women do, I ain't gonna say all of them, will have a Black man's back. We'll be down for him. As it doesn't matter how many times he keep messing up, we're gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. And one last question I want to throw out too, when have we ever just seen a panel of white men discussing white women the way Black women are discussed, the way we are talked about as being so negative? I've never heard. I'm not saying it's not out there, but
It's
I've
not
never heard that. I've
it's
never
it's
sat
it's
and
the
just
red pill space, just in general. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
the
So
manosphere.
I feel like for us to get back to where we need to be, we both have to have each other's back, but Black men also accept us for who we are and love us for who we are, and just know, yeah, we might be a little bit angry because they taking our cornrows, they taking our butts, they taking our hips, they even taking our melatonin.
Not
Going
a
to the tip.
melatonin. You mean melanin?
Melanin. My bad. My bad. We
They
we
taking
ain't
our
trying to
sleep,
go to sleep.
girl.
We ain't trying to go to sleep.
Not our sleep.
Baby, keep me
I'll
up.
be
But
damned if
I'm
they
just
take our sleep
saying,
now.
that's probably why we, might be looking like, oh, it's ghetto on me, but it's beautiful on her, So anyway, and no shade to any woman that's not Black that want to wear cornrows. That's great, But just
Yeah.
why it's got to be ghetto on me and my children?
But you know what? Also, it's I hate to be the one that always does this, but everything boils down to racism. I'm not gonna hold you. It all boils down to systemic racism and
Facts.
oppression. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like the trope of being a strong black woman. We had to be based on the circumstances that were given to the majority of our people in this country. You took but this was all by design. They knew that black unity, black families, strong black men in the home, that's a direct threat to white supremacy to them. For some reason, anytime we are together and loving one another, they shaking in their boots when we're not thinking about them at all. So there was never a time where black women had the opportunity to just be feminine and to just be taken care of and to just be at ease. We're struggling raising our kids. Our men are in and out. They're not consistent. It's just so many things that have been passed down generationally, like you said, Alyssa, that are why we're at where we are right now. And I think once we address that root and start stop pointing the finger at one another and realize the cause and the effects of it, we can have more progress. But it's always instead of doing that inner work, it's always, well, women need to do this and women need to do that. And it's just we're talking in circles at that point. We both got to do the work.
Okay. Let me tackle a couple of these comments real quick. Jay Zilla said, I love the womanhood and this panel. Shout out to Jay Zilla, chat 333 in the
classic.
Building. Yes, Lord. Let's see. Miles said relationship issues exist by design to some degree. Elaborate on that for me, Miles. Appreciate you. Souls of Thought said, I think it's not a lot of division. We just focus on the larger content creators who push a narrative to get the bag. Smaller platforms speak on more solutions. I agree with you. Shout out to Souls of Thought. It's
classic.
Platforms that are speaking something a bit more productive. Miles Batchelor said the larger platforms only perpetuate the infighting and the arguing. Okay, Jay Zilla said, I agree, and the cycle continues. We've not learned our lesson. This karma cycle hasn't been fixed. Before it was online, black dysphoria as a subject regarding relationships have been discussed somewhere. Got you. Shout out to Jay Zilla. Thank y'all for the chats. So did anybody have any closing statements on that, or did y'all feel like y'all
that last comment has me a little it was a little intriguing when he said this karma cycle hasn't been fixed. I wonder what he means by that.
Jay Zilla, talk to me, man. Jazz want to know what you mean by the karma cycle hasn't been fixed, because I think you're trying to figure out what's karmic about it. Is that the part that's confusing?
Right. Like,
what did we do?
What did we do? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Is that what is that what he's trying to say? Like, we put ourselves in that situation? Or that's what I was curious about. But
yeah, he'll get back. Jay Zilla said, what do we do? I don't know, but I've read and heard black men. Oh, this is in your response, Jazz. It's okay if we bounce around a little bit. What do we do? I don't know, but I've read and heard black men or women to discuss what the whole black male/female community did to them as a topic. I'm just saying, this is nothing new. We got to crack the codes. So he's saying he doesn't know what the karma is for, but it seems like it's karmic, I guess is what he's saying. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can offer you some context. I have heard, and I didn't look into it for myself, so I'm not gonna act like it's absolute truth. But I have heard that at some point, black folks were originally in control of everything, and when Caucasian people, I guess, came into the fold, we weren't the most the easiest to deal with. Essentially, like this is just a theory I was told, saying that I guess the theory is that Caucasian people come from the mountains, and when they started to descend from the mountains and come to the lands where we were already ruling, we used to be harsh and cruel, and it took a while for them to assimilate in and become, I guess, a part of society, so to speak. That's what I was told. I don't know that to be true, never looked into it. But
so wait, you're saying you heard a theory that when Neanderthals basically came to exist, and they tried to coexist with melanated people, that we were just slaughtered. We slaughtered them for no reason at all. I need a reference in that, because
yeah.
by nature, like, we're not like a savage first type of people. They are. Their only way of obtaining anything is by stealing, raping, taking, pressing down on others, pillaging. Also, they have never brought peace to anybody they've ever encountered. That's a historical fact. So that's why I'm like, was this self-defense? You know what I'm saying? Like, was because that doesn't make sense. We've never been like the type of people, and that's kind of why we were in the situation we were, because we are so welcoming and collaborative and like, oh, okay, these people are here, we're here, let's see how we can work together. We're naturally like that, right? These people are not. They don't want to collab. They want to just take what you have and claim it as their own. So that classic, I'm gonna need a reference.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'll look. I remember who told it to me. I'll get one for you. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep. The chat get active. They get active. Uncle Plug said the bigger platforms are only for clicks, not to help.
That's so true. And that's what's scary, because these platforms are too big and their messaging is just so dangerous sometimes. And it's really like rotting people's brains and making people believe the most negative stereotypes. And again, it's working. It's doing exactly what it was meant to do, to divide us.
Yeah.
It's never helpful.
I agree. Souls of Thought says, shout out cuz a listen.
Classic.
That's what's up. All right, y'all. All right, let's move into the next one. That's it for the reaction on the Facebook post for white fathers. If you like what you just saw, support the channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and jump in the comments. Talk to me so we could crack these codes. If you want to support the channel monetarily, go to my website and cop some merch, www.theclassiccodes.com, or you can shoot me a Cash App. Either way, stick to the codes.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my